talk about the New England Patriots and an actual report that came out on Monday that Robert Kraft a month ago had written a letter to the commissioner Roger Goodell of the National Football League requesting the Patriots draft picks back that were confiscated in the wake of the Deflategate. And they got a first round pick from this season taken away and a fourth round pick of 2017 and $1 million taken from them. So Robert Kraft initially Robert Kraft took the stance of, all right, I'll just accept my penalties, and we'll have a great in the betterment and for the betterment of the league, I'll accept my penalties. And it was believed that he believed the NFL was going to let up afterwards, but then the NFL, after he accepted them, continued to pursue the case against Tom Brady. So after that, Robert Kraft, kind of reneged on how he felt initially, and now after the court obviously sided with Tom Brady, Judge Berman initially sided with Tom Brady. Now they're in an appellate court after the NFL appealed it, and
because he was supposed to be out for 4 games.
Yeah, he was supposed to have been. The NFL ruled he was going to be suspended for 4 games, and then he appealed it and then he went to court. He won the decision, and then now the NFL is appealing that decision in an appellate court. So now it's just going back and forth. Even though now this first round of court meetings seem to have gone into favor of the NFL, but pretty much now Robert Kraft, this is the stance he took. He said, I personally believe that when the league made the decision, they did not factor in the ideal gas law. They admitted that publicly. They had a full year of being able to observe Tom Brady play all the rules of whatever the NFL was and make any judgments there. We have laid it out pretty straightforward, and now it's up to them to decide. So what do you guys think the New England Patriots should be given back their draft picks?
No, the ideal gas law isn't that when the player can request like the perfect size for the football or something like that.
It's all that scientific, all that stuff they had in the Wells investigation and all that. It's pretty much all of that being brought into this. But do you think that they should get their draft picks back?
I don't think so. I mean, it definitely. I know that's like really hurting them that they lost the draft picks and they may need them, but if they if the ongoing investigation and nobody has really taken, other than the $1 million and the draft picks, nobody really has taken any punishment from this, from the from the Patriots organization. Because when you play football, the team is supposed to provide their own footballs, so it's obvious. Well, not obvious, but that's why they're going to the investigation. Why the balls weren't inflated to the right amount, or because Tom Brady has to have the ball a certain way or something, and it's considerably lighter than what the Patriots ball. The Colts balls were. But the thing is, it's like they haven't given up anything really. You say that you didn't it wasn't like y'all fault or whatever, but y'all do provide the balls. Y'all inflated to the way that they're supposed to, and it didn't meet the requirements. So you do have to take a punishment for that. And since Tom Brady didn't lose his 4 games, they can't. I don't feel like they should get back those draft picks.
All right, Rashad, what about you?
For Robert Kraft to accept the penalty because he feel like he's going to lessen it, that's his fault. That's it. That's your fault for not fighting it. No, they're not gonna give you back your picks. I don't think you should get back your picks either. That was your mistake. You didn't want to fight this hard enough, so they took your picks, and then you feel like, oh, there's really nothing to be found. You should get it back. Nah, it doesn't work like that. Law doesn't work like that. Court doesn't work like that. So, as far as we see, Tom Brady's he's still fighting, not for the suspension and everything. So you're like, okay, well, we've seen a clean season where everything's been good. We've seen everything happen like that. We've seen that they technically don't have to be cheaters or not cheaters at all. So it doesn't change the fact that in the moment it happened, in the moment it appeared to have happened, in the moment this is Roger Goodell, putting this with them, be like, y'all need to stop with these, things that leading y'all to these accusations. Like you've already been known once for something like this. You can't just keep putting yourself in the news for stuff like this. This is your punishment. So for Robert Kraft to say, okay, I accept it. Maybe hopefully you lessen it up for us, and they don't. Well, you already accepted. You already accepted the penalty. You've come to the agreement that you're getting the penalty, so you're not going to just get it back.
Okay, so D Sizzle commented. He said, to the contrary, I think the Patriots should lose more draft picks because he thinks Brady got away with one, so the NFL should double down. So this is how I see it from the Patriots perspective, because I believe in the Patriots eye of things. The NFL is playing is convicting they're running two different cases, but they're running one case but punishing two entities. So the NFL, you bring your punishment. He accepted the punishment. He accepted the punishment in the wake, and then let Tom Brady fight his battle. But he accepted his punishment, some believe, because I remember I saw ESPN's Stephen A. Smith report on First Take one day that after Spygate, coming into this situation, the NFL had warned Bill Belichick that if you're found to have been complicit in this to any extent, you could be banned. So he accepted those draft picks and hoping that the NFL would just, okay, we've been punished. We all been, as a group, we've been punished. We're going to let this go. But then they continued to pursue Tom Brady after this because that's when he was like, all right, wait a minute. Because what I thought him and all the other owners is a collective thing. So when he agreed to it as a betterment for the whole NFL, because it doesn't look good for the NFL to be in the news for court and everything like that, to be consistently in the news for something negative. And this was the whole storyline going into Super Bowl week and post Super Bowl week. So he felt as though that the Patriot, that the NFL did them wrong, didn't hold up to their word, because Jesus will say, you guys don't need to be so formal. You can stop calling them the Patriots. We're cool if you just call them the cheaters.
Oh my God.
But he felt as though that the NFL would take into consideration all those other things, especially with the Ted Wells investigation, and would let it go at the punishment. But then when they went on to suspend Tom Brady, that's when he was like, okay, hold on a second. Now you just went a whole nother direction, that because he thought that Patriots being punished as a group. He didn't know they were going to continue to go after Tom Brady. So when you look at it from that standpoint, he has a case, because if you're trying to prove Tom Brady's complicity in the what happened with the footballs, then why are you punishing the whole Patriots as an organization? Because whenever a domestic violence case has occurred and it was a singular player that did something, or when a player violated a violation on the field, that singular player was fined, or that singular player was suspended. But in the case of Tom Brady, now the whole team was punished. It wasn't just Tom Brady that's been punished. Now it's the whole team, and Tom Brady's the one that has to fight it in court. So
why does he have a case?
What do you? Because in every other circumstance, because it depends on what is the NFL fighting here. Is the NFL fighting for Tom Brady to be found guilty, or are they trying to argue for the Patriots to be found guilty? Because if you're arguing for Tom Brady, then suspend Tom Brady but give the draft picks back. If you're trying to prove the Patriots had something, the whole Patriots organization had something to do with it, then why are you punishing Tom Brady?
Who says it has to be one or the other?
But see, that's
you have a track record of punishing one or the other. That's his point. And then you can't go ahead and switch it up because it's the Patriots now.
If the Patriots has reoccurring situations, they can do what they want to do. Just because Robert Kraft feels like he accepted that, everything should be gone. No, it's the NFL's choice. I want to punish the Patriots and I want to punish Tom Brady specifically. That's their choice. There's nothing wrong with that.
I understand what you're saying when you said they should choose one or the other. I feel like if they're gonna target Tom Brady directly, they should target specific players on the team. But I feel like them targeting the whole team as an organization was a better choice than taking their draft picks rather than trying to suspend Tom Brady. And Tom Brady didn't get suspended. So I still feel like that they shouldn't get their draft picks back, because nobody really got repercussions for that.
Okay, Brophy said Tom Brady is the team, and then Football is America said, let's be clear, had this been a coach on a team that can't win, he would have been gone after Spygate, never heard from again. Instead, because the Patriots are a winning organization, we let everything go. It is the foundation of the NFL. Greg Hardy, countless drug allegations, domestic violence, etc. You see, here's the thing that their cases. If you're fighting for, because this was something that was, you're right, the power of the NFL, the commissioner was collectively bargained by the NFL and the players. But if the NFL is fighting to I guess prove the commissioner's power in this case, then make that a separate case. You don't use the Patriots as scapegoats for that case, and that's what Robert Kraft is saying, because you don't just exercise an over exertment of power just because you want to make an example of somebody, when every other example prior to that you either punished the player or the whole team. When the Falcons were found to have been pumping crowd noise, you punished the team. You didn't punish the specific players or anything like that, or anybody that had no knowledge of it. When the coach the head coach is found of it. Normally the coach is put on leave or something like that, or the coach is suspended to an instance of degree. But this is a player we're talking about. So you're trying to go after the player and the organization. So that's what his case is. He's like, give us our draft picks back, because if you're going to try and go after Tom, and the Ted Wells investigation wasn't found to be enough conclusive evidence that we had anything to do with it, because they lost. They lost. He said this after the NFL lost. So he's saying, give us the draft picks back after y'all already have lost. I mean, NFL has appealed it, but they technically lost in court with the Ted Wells investigation and everything to try and prove that Tom Brady knew something about the footballs being underinflated. Because this case went from proving Tom Brady's. If you think about the case, the dialogue of the case has changed at this point. Now the case has changed from Tom Brady knew something about the footballs, and it changed to Tom Brady's cooperation with the NFL. So if you're trying to prove that he knew something about the footballs, you lost that case essentially, or you couldn't find a means to prove it. So the Robert Kraft sitting here saying, so if you couldn't prove that we knew anything about the footballs, and you're just trying to get this one dude on a cooperation charge, give us our picks back.
I mean, he can feel like that, but at the same time, NFL can do what they want to do.
Yeah,
NFL can feel how they want. You're just saying, like, you know what I'm saying?
He's one of the owners that
they are.
pays your check. He's one of the owners that that's part of that. It's not like the NFL is a whole separate entity. Robert Kraft is part of them.
Mm-hmm.
He makes up one of the owners that pays for this whole NFL check thing that goes around, that pays Roger Goodell's check. So him and Roger had an understanding that apparently wasn't a complete understanding. So that's where he's coming from.
But at the same time, he's still just the owner. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, they're still higher authority than he is. All he do is, give him the money for Roger Goodell to make.
But that's the owners are the authority. That's the thing. Roger Goodell answers to the owners. The owners.
If they enter to the boards, then it would already happened. It already been over with. He would have got his fix back by now. As we see, it doesn't. He's in the letter, and it doesn't work.
It's because it's the other owners along with it. That's what he said. He wants to get his other owners in conjunction with him. Roger Goodell answers to the owners. And then he wrote the letter to Roger Goodell because he believed, because Roger Goodell, obviously he's the commissioner and he's the one that puts down the punishments. But Roger Goodell answers to the owners. If the owners, there was a point in time that people are calling for Roger Goodell's job, and the owners and Jerry Jones most verbally supported Roger Goodell, because the owners are the ones that put Roger Goodell in that position. So when he's feeling this way, it's because he's one of the people that helped put Roger Goodell in that position. Now Roger
Goodell is the one who took the picks away, right?
Yeah, Roger Goodell is the one that took the picks away. He's the one that hands down the punishments. The owners are just the ones that oversee his conduct. But that's what.
But shouldn't he be pleading to the?
At the same
time,
that's
what he's pleading to them and Robert Kraft.
But at the same time, the owners don't really have anything. They can't really. I mean, you as an owner, you can't really be like, I don't want this man in office no more. In a sense, yeah, you can feel that way. You can voice your opinion about it, and then eventually get something done about it. But at the same time, they're not his. At the same time, they're not his bosses. Roger Goodell's still their bosses in a sense.
Roger Goodell's not the owner's bosses. If the owners wanted, Roger Goodell would be fired. The owners are Roger Goodell's, and they pay Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell's not paying the owners.
Roger Goodell makes money. They're not. Roger Goodell makes money from the owners. They're not paying him. He makes money from them. It's a difference. There's
a difference. But if the owners wanted, Roger Goodell would be fired.
Their opinion would want him fired. They're not firing him himself.
They do. What are you talking?
They're not the one.
Do you know how the NFL works?
Yeah, I understand how it works, man. If they come together, your opinion
doesn't make your opinion more valid.
So your opinion. Why is your opinion? It's an opinion.
No,
it's an opinion. I'm telling you the same thing too.
You're yelling at me when you yelling doesn't make your opinion more valid. Lower your voice and talk.
I am talking. No, let me talk. Let me talk then.
I'm letting you talk. Go ahead.
As a collective group, your opinion is what separates. Your opinion. They're not the ones who are like, "Are you fired?" No, their opinions come together. I want this guy fired, and eventually it leads to it happening. They're not the ones firing him.
They are the ones firing. The owners are the ones that put him in that position. The owners are the ones that decide who the commissioner is. Go back and read on how the owners are selected. That's how the owners work. The commissioner. Sorry, the commissioners work. It's the same thing with the NBA. When the NBA wanted Donald Sterling gone, he was the owner. They had all the owners had to collectively agree on it for him to be booted out, because you can't just take away a guy's team. Mm-hmm. So he emphatically was forced to sell his team. But that's how the NFL works. So if
that's the case, then all the owners should come together, and he shouldn't be focusing on Roger Goodell, like trying to plead to him. He should be pleading to the owners so that they can come together. See, but that's what I'm saying. He wrote the letter to Roger Goodell, because Roger Goodell's the one that handed down. He carries the authority of the NFL. Okay, so he wrote the letter to Roger Goodell, because Roger Goodell's the one that passed down the decision to punish the Patriots, right?
So Roger Goodell would be Roger Goodell's like Richard Sherman said, in a sense, Roger Goodell's the figurehead. You know what I'm saying? So Roger Goodell is the figurehead. So he wrote that to Roger Goodell. But if you read in the article, the last part of Robert Kraft's statement, he said, I want to get the other owners collectively to understand this because this could happen to their teams also. So he's trying to get the other owners, not just by himself, not just to Roger, but to the other owners to understand his position so that the other owners will chime in with him. Because when the other owners, when it's a collective feeling, that's when, you know, that the league has the reason to do this and that. That's why when you see the NBA, the collective bargaining agreement, when they wanted this whole thing with the cap situation, because remember when LeBron and them first formed the Big Three, all these owners were upset. And so now they made the cap situation so that could never happen again because all those owners felt that way. It wasn't exactly Davis Stern or Adam Silver, but it was the owners that all felt that way. And the same thing happened with the Chris Paul trade. When Chris Paul got traded to the Lakers, Dan Gilbert was the most emphatic owner that was upset with it. And then he was like, oh, this isn't cool. Like, I don't want this happening. So then the owners nipped the trade.
Well, I feel like he might have jumped the gun with the letter to Roger Goodell.
Yeah,
because
Football is America put a funny picture. He said, I don't know. He put a yelling thing. I don't know what you're yelling about. Go ahead.
But I feel like if he would approach him, you know, if he would have waited on the letter and approached him with the team, with all the other owners, like support first, and then went towards Roger Goodell would have no choice but to give him back his draft.
But that's the thing. It's not necessarily because it's not like all the other owners felt the same way about Robert Kraft. This is Robert Kraft's team. It's not the other owners' team. So the other owners aren't exactly going to be like, oh yeah, let's help Roger make his team better. Let's not forget the Patriots have been dominating everybody else's teams for a good amount of time. So it's not like they're all ready to jump on the bandwagon to help the Patriots get the picks back to become that much better.
But he's just trying to plead to them that it may happen to them.
Yeah, that this similar.
Well, going by that standpoint, they should understand that. I mean, I understand you got whooped by the Patriots. I mean, but still, you should understand that the same thing could happen to you.
And see, and that's essentially the reason why he accepted the punishment in the first place, because he accepted in the first place for the betterment of the NFL, because he knew that the NFL's image wouldn't look good if they were in court all the time pleading this and that. And then for something like what happened for Tom Brady to win the case, and now the commissioner's power is questioned. See, you know what I'm saying? When Tom Brady won that case, it opened the door for a lot of players to be like, you know what? If I appeal Roger Goodell's suspension, I might get it overturned too. So when that they tried to avoid that. So when he accepted it, he was like, okay, that probably won't happen.
You shouldn't even worry about the image. You should have appealed it from the beginning.
But if he accepted it, there's no point in reading. You can't renege what you accepted.
And
that's the point. That's the point.
And initially that was his point until they went after Tom Brady. And when they went after Tom Brady, that's when he was like, because I mean, you hear some people feel as though maybe he might have accepted it to protect Bill Belichick. Because think about it. What would you take instead, for Bill Belichick to be banned from the league, or would you take a 4-game suspension for Tom Brady?
You take a 4-game suspension because you don't want your coach to be gone. You're most winning
Tom
coach
Brady's gonna be back
in Patriots history. But at the same time, you accepted it, and just because they change up and go for something else now, you can't renege with your offer. Because at the same time, let's say he like, all right, I want my draft back. He's like, all right, well, we're going back for Bill Belichick. Then you're back in a cycle.
It is a cycle. It is a cycle. But his point is, you should keep it at one thing. Don't make this a back and forth thing. Keep it at one thing. If you're going to keep it, if you're going to go after Tom, go after Tom. If you're going to come after Bill, come after Bill. But prove it. The NFL didn't prove anything. That's the whole thing. The NFL, the Ted Wells investigation didn't prove. They said more likely than not, Tom Brady might have knowledge about it, but they didn't prove that he knew or he had anything to do with it. They had the text messages, they had the phones, they had all this, and they still couldn't prove that Tom Brady knew about it.
Well, the thing is, it's a winning organization in the Patriots, and the fact that it's them and that so many people can be targeted for like
they had
the blame.
Jim Dresky's phone. Sorry, they had Jim Dresky's phone, the actual guy that inflates the ball. They didn't have Tom Brady's phone. They had other guy's phone. But yeah,
so many people in this organization that can get targeted. And because it's such a great team, you know, it could be. That's why I guess he's using it for a perfect example, right? And the fact that he's in this position where you may or may not get the support from other coaches if you can't plead. I mean, other owners, if you can't give them a great plea, and then Roger Goodell won't give you back your draft picks because he has that authority. So in a sense, he's just in a very bad position.
See, I guess it's one of those things that. It comes down to the thing of asking the question, are you fighting to prove your power Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you fighting to retain your power as commissioner that was collectively bargained towards you? He's saying if you're doing that, do your thing. Or are you just trying to prove the thing about Tom Brady? Because he's saying that if you're trying to prove your power as commissioner, why are you using us as an example? You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to go after Tom Brady, then do your thing with Tom Brady. But don't use the whole Patriots organization as an example.
But see, he can prove his power as an authority and still just not give back the draft picks.
That's essentially the position Roger Goodell's taken.
And he really doesn't have to, and he can still show that he's
I mean, we'll see how it turns out in court. I mean, the draft picks, it doesn't seem like Roger Goodell's going to get back the draft picks.
Those are gone.
You know what I'm saying?
The only thing that's going to happen is Tom Brady don't get suspension.
That's essentially the point that it comes down to now, whether if Tom will get suspended or not. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show every 24-hour day, coming to you on ODU Studios, the best in college radio. Follow us on Twitter at KBR_sports, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at KBR Sports, and listen to us on Rabble, Spreaker. You see our past podcasts on there, and also our past shows on our KBR Sports YouTube channel. For anybody that wants to join on the debate in the future, go to or call the number 757-683-4405. You can call in and join in on any debates and topics such as these. All right, y'all have a great day.